Hello and welcome to PCI Webinars. Today's webinar, Children's Programming Ideas, Tips, and Tricks with Jill Burket-Ragasse. Jill earned her MLS in 2002 from the University of Kentucky. She has worked as a children's librarian and collection development librarian, and now is an independent library consultant with a focus on children's services. Jill has made professional presentations at various professional conferences on children's programming and is here to tell us her ideas, tips, and tricks. Coming to you now from the Cincinnati area, it's Jill Burket-Ragasse.
Good afternoon. I'm so glad. I am both excited and slightly nervous that we have so many people today. The format of our webinar today is really interactive, so I hope that when I pose a question, you'll make really good use of the discussion box. I recognize lots of names, so if you have done a webinar with me in the past, you will know just to chime right in. All suggestions are welcome. Today we're going to talk about children's programming ideas, tips, and tricks. I have shot for kind of the middle of the age spectrum here, and we can talk about how to adapt the ideas up and down. But as always, if you have questions, just jump in at any time. Briefly today, we are going to talk about programming trends and ideas for incorporating them, especially those of us who have a limited budget or amount of time, which I think is probably everyone. Ideas for low-cost programs. Ideas for tapping into your local community for free or low-cost programs. You might be sensing a theme here. Utilizing your patrons and parents of your program attendees for free or low-cost programming. And programming ideas that work with the National Summer Reading theme for 2017. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take these in sections and talk about the topic, and then at the end of each one do a bit of a shout out, and I'll say, hey, what are you doing under any of these umbrellas? Share your ideas, and we will walk through everybody's ideas in the discussion box. I think we are so as a sum of our parts than we are individually. So consider this the next hour to share and receive ideas in equal measure. Let's jump right into some trends. Pokemon. My kids are obsessed with Pokemon. Are you seeing Pokemon everywhere in your library? Is your library a Pokestop or a Pokegym? The closest branch here of the Cincinnati Library to my house is both a Pokestop and a Pokegym, which is amazing. My kids love the library, but also we're now using it as a Pokestop. Take a moment in the discussion box. Tell me how you are utilizing your Pokemon connection to bring people from the parking lot into the building. And then we'll talk about some programs. Basically, you probably all know what Pokemon Go is, but briefly, if you don't, it's a free app that has players walk around their communities to find Pokemon in the real world. The game enables augmented reality, which means the Pokemon can appear in real life. The more Pokemon you catch, the more you can level up. You earn experience points, which helps you when you have gym battles. My advice here is that people are being delivered to your parking lot. They're literally showing up right outside your building. You have to capitalize on that, get a chance to talk to. It gives us an opportunity to do some plays, which we're going to talk about today. The resource list, which is available down in the downloads box. There are two files there. One is, I think the first one is the slides from today's presentation. The second one is the resource list, and we are going to refer to that a lot today, so you might want to just take a second to print it out if you are able. The resource list contains 3 blog posts, which provide a great overview of Pokemon Go and Pokemon in general. There are also some program ideas there, and I have listed my favorite here. But hands down, the best place to find Pokemon program ideas is Pinterest. There are a million ideas. Most of them are super low cost to execute. The game has been around, well, the Pokemon in general, not Pokemon Go, but the the show and the books have been around since the 90s, and it's popular worldwide, so there are no shortage of ideas to tether and use them how you like. Let's see, what do we... Pamela says this trend seems to have died out in my community. That is so surprising to me. I will say they introduced a new region of Pokemon into the game last week, so you might see a little bit of an uptick in this once again, and I think it's nicely timed. We're getting so close to the summer. So have Pokemon. Several people have Pokemon. Several people are saying Pokemon is done. I think you want to brace yourselves for a new wave of Pokemon with the release of this new region. I will say that. Also, if you are in a part of the country that has seasons, I think we are just kind of beginning to get back on the season for being outside. A new region in the Pokemon Go game. Heather asks, there's a new region in the Pokemon Go game. Yes, there is a new region called the, I think it's pronounced the Hoto region. It's Jhoto, and they released 80 new Pokemon into the game that are found in that region. And so these are ones that were not available in the game prior. Briefly on our list here, I've listed some things. The Gotta Read 'em All and Earn Every Badge programs are my favorite. I really like the badge program because the kids can earn buttons, and there are links on the resource list. If your kids are anything like mine, they love keychains and buttons on their book bag. So this hit two trends at once of putting things on your book bags and having Pokemon. Your library may already have a button maker, which makes this program really easy to pull off. Design your own Pokeball is just what you're assuming from the title. Lots of creativity, opportunities for creativity here. And then the big thing I wanted to talk about here and that's what this photo is, a Pokemon Post-it display. Post-it displays in general, I was thinking about dividing this out into its own trend. Post-it displays have taken off around here with the tweens, and it's really interesting to me. These are pretty easy to pull off. There are tons of templates available online for free. This is a Bulbasaur Pokemon. The easiest way I have found at work to pull this off is to use the projector to put the picture up there, but then there are also templates online that look a lot like cross-stitch templates, if you've ever done any cross-stitch, and it tells you where to put all the different colors. Let's jump to the next thing. Makerspace. How many of you have a Makerspace at your library already? Makerspace is everywhere. Some of you may have a dedicated Makerspace, and others of you might be doing Makerspace programs. I think my Makerspace is a giant can of worms. There is enough material about Makerspace to do an entire webinar on its own. I am on the PTA at my children's school, and we are underwriting the creation of a Makerspace, and it has been an exciting and expensive ride. Let's see, we just got the dot and dash. Dot and dash is really fun. We're going to talk about that. And Karen says they're looking to expand it. Well, maybe some of these ideas that we're going to talk about will work today. My kids right now, favorite thing is Makey Makey. And do you have a video with Makey Makey?
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Eric. We're graduate students at MIT Media Lab.
We have a dream that everyone is an inventor. So we created Makey Makey to let you invent just by alligator clipping. Alligator clips stuff like bananas to your Makey Makey. When you touch the banana, your computer just thinks you're touching the keyboard. The front has arrow keys, spacebar, and mouse left click. When you're ready for more, flip the Makey Makey over and you've got more keyboard keys and support for the mouse. You can even use the board like an Arduino when you are ready. No programming, no breadboarding. You don't even have to install software. Just plug it in USB.
Order your Makey Makey today and start changing how the world works.
Boing, 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 bing, bing, bing.
My kids are obsessed with Makey Makey. I have two second graders. They came home from school at the beginning of the year because the librarian had introduced it in their STEM class. And they came home, we have to have Makey Makey, we have to have Makey Makey. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And we found the commercial online. This is a great kind of low cost investment. The starter kit for Makey Makey is $49.95, and of course you can use it unlimited times. It's so cool. When I found this video for today's webinar, I showed it to my kids, and then they made the gummy worm piano on the one that we bought at our house. My kids had so much fun with it. I took it into work and was like, we have to get one of these because my kids are obsessed with it. And it has turned into a really great regular thing. We've been doing some kind of setting the bar low maker spaces for maybe 3 months now. But this is always really, really popular. The kids can work collaboratively together to pull something off and really, really enjoy it. I also think it ties in well with the summer reading theme. It's so nice and broad, making a better world. You could turn this into like the stairs in the video or any kind of a public art or music demonstration. There are so many great ideas, and Pinterest is exploding with Makey Makey ideas. So if you're kind of like, well, it looks cool, but I'm not sure what I would do with it, get on Pinterest, get on YouTube, see what other librarians are doing with Makey Makey. It's really, really fun. Along the same lines as Dash and Dot, I think someone earlier mentioned they have Dash and Dot. Picture, I didn't want to inundate us with videos today, but picture something that looks slightly like a miniaturized BB-8 with a third circle on it. And that is what Dash and Dot looks like. They're kind of small ball-shaped robots that teaches coding through their app. Same starter price as the Makey Makey, $50. They have this at my school. My kids enjoy it, but for some reason, it is not spoken to them the way that Makey Makey has, but they also enjoy it. Gabriel says the library staff had a blast learning Dash and Dot, so we knew the kids would love it. I agree. It looks really, really cool. Olivia says we have Dash and Dot. Elementary schools love it when they visit and we bring them out. Yeah, the kids get to learn. It's really amazing. The kids are learning programming language so much easier, and they really, really have a nice time with it. On the low-tech end of things, we are also really enjoying newspaper or marshmallow building challenges. There are some great newspaper engineering links on the resource list. We, over the recent break, made a bridge out of the rolled up newspaper, which was really, really fun. And, super affordable. Could be no cost depending on what you're doing with your newspapers that you receive at your branch. Connects, sewing machines, there are options here for pretty much any kind of budget. Several of you mentioned that you're sharing kits between your branches. I think some of these Makey Makey and Dash and Dot might be great additions to those, but they're kind of nice low, puts the bar low. Your friends group might pick those up for you and donate them. Great way to get started. Ariel says, how do you use a sewing machine in a program for kids? I have seen it used as a general, well, both as kind of an instructional class and something that you can book time on. Our main library has one down in their makerspace, and you can reserve time on it, and then they occasionally have someone come in who does um, basic instructions. And you can do, Jessica says, you can do crafts, fabric diaries, and journal with the sewing machines. We've also seen like making small stuffed animals or pillows. A lot of your basic sewing skills. It's nice if you have someone on staff who can do it, but Olivia says drawstring bags. Those are really easy. And another thing you can do if you're trying to entice parents into your maker space is maybe we've had, where we want to open up the market of who we're attracting. So we talked to parents about doing you can do wet bags that you can stick diapers and soiled clothes into really easily. It's kind of just a rectangle with a piece of Velcro on it. But anything that would be covered in a kid's sewing book that you probably have in your collection would be a great addition there. Thanks for jumping in on the comments, guys. That's fantastic. Kindness programs. Has anybody done a kindness program? I feel like they're popping up everywhere. I saw so many right at the beginning of the year on Storytime Underground. I saw so many people using this throw kindness around like confetti to make bulletin boards and displays. Heather says they're using it for summer reading program. I think it's perfect for summer reading. Kindness programs are sweeping the nation, and what's not to love? How can your library get in on the action? We've got some ideas here. The first one at the top is Operation Gratitude. This one sends care packages and mail to military personnel. They have a lot of different programs that might fit your need, everything from letter writing to knitting, creating care packages from donations. We did a care package assembly event in January that was a huge hit. We advertised the lists of supplies needed, and then the kids got together and they decorated the physical box that we were going to pack things in, and we talked about gratitude, and we read a couple books, and then we packed the boxes. It was really fun. Girls Love Mail. You can have a letter writing party. Girls Love Mail is a program that pairs cancer patients with postal mail, and children's art counts as mail. That's a totally acceptable letter in their program. This is a really easy and inexpensive way to share joy. I also really like Kindness Bingo. Counselor Carrie, it's Kerri, has posted a great one on Teachers Pay Teachers for free of charge. That one's listed on the resource list. And I also found hers was probably the most frequent one that came up with the different searches I tried on Pinterest on that topic. I've also seen kindness calendars out there. Head to Pinterest. There are fabulous people in the world who have kindly provided the rest of us with calendars for each month of the year that are full of kindness, tips, tricks, and ideas. You can hand them out. My favorite thing I've seen, I stole this from another library, is that you hand out the kindness calendars and then encourage people to post updates and photos to your social media using the kindness calendar with a hashtag that you have created for the event. And they can do it on Facebook and Twitter. It's a great way both to spread kindness, but also, a great sort of underground marketing idea for the library. Kindness trees are also really great, and that can be either an interactive program where it's done as the craft at the end, or as a passive program where you set up the supplies. But basically you create an outline of a tree, and then the leaves are hearts or handprints, or sometimes they are leaf shaped, and you can write kindnesses or gratitude remembrances on them and just create a physical representation of your communities, kindness, and gratitude towards one another. It's really nice. And I think any of those ideas will also work in with the 2017 collaborative summer reading theme. Let's see what we have in the comments. Olivia says we are asking our summer readers to turn in a book log every week and mention an act of kindness that they performed during the week. Oh, I love that idea. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Olivia. Pamela says we will be doing pennies for the park during the summer reading to raise money for our park improvements project. Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Our school did Penny Wars this last month, and they turned it into a competition. I wonder if you could do that between different areas in your library, like maybe different departments, and each penny counted as like, a penny, and then you could put silver change in another group's container, and that would deduct that number of points from their total, and it got you more money. Which was really fun. That's a great idea. Thanks for sharing it, Pamela. Our next trend we're going to talk about is Make a Mess. I love Make a Mess. I work at an independent children's bookstore, and we recently relaunched Make a Mess in August of this past year. And it has been crazy cakes. It's full every time. We are always trying to drag in extra tables and figure out how we can accommodate more people. Most of our programming ideas come from Pinterest. I really like a lot of the things you see in the pictures here. We use the search term messy art. But the idea here is to be over the top, to attempt something that most parents wouldn't be willing to undertake at home. We tie in a book loosely, but it's really just about engaging families to let loose with art. The pictures you've seen here are, let's see, we did handprint rainbows. The one on the left there is a piece of flexible plastic from Home Depot, and we put saran wrap on the floor to protect the floor, and then the kids literally just applied paint to the tops of them and sat underneath of them. It was crazy. The summer's coming up. If you've got an outdoor space, this is totally something you can do there. Jessica says, what search terms are you using to find this on Pinterest? Messy art. Messy art. You can also do, the bookstore that I work at is the Blue Manatee, MANATEE. We post pictures from Make a Mess on the store's Pinterest account and on our social media. You're also welcome to check that out. Olivia says, love mouse paint. Mouse paint is a great book tie-in for any of this. Heather says, can we borrow the title Make a Mess? Absolutely. I don't know that we made it up. But yes, you should totally use that. I Ain't Gonna Paint No More is an awesome book for that. It is. Yes, that is one we use all the time. And that new book, I Saw a Cat. Have you seen that book? That book is a great tie-in for any kind of art you want to do. You can talk all about perspective. And this is really a fun thing because during the school year, we do it for preschoolers. And so we kind of bring the age range down. Most of these ideas are adaptable for any age group. And I have really found that toddlers and teens share a lot of similar craft interests. So just because you see a toddler in the picture, don't let that turn you off, because it might be just a perfect fit. STEM. We've talked a lot about STEM when we talked about Makerspace, so I don't really want to belabor the point, but I did want to show you the most popular thing we did over the Christmas break at work, which was marble roller coasters. Hey, Ann, can you run? This is not our marble roller coaster, but it is a marble roller coaster.
I broke your heart and made you cry. I didn't mean it, sweetie pie. I was angry when I said goodbye. Now I know it
let me know when the video stops for you. Perfect. Sounds like many of you are done. Someone has suggested that this could be a team event for supply and time purposes. I absolutely agree. We did this as a multi-day challenge. We watched some videos and we started, the kids themselves cut up the toilet paper tubes. Don't spend your staff time on that. It makes the program really expensive. But we did like a 3-day workshop, and the kids kind of prepped and drew out what they wanted the coaster to look like, and we watched some videos on YouTube of coasters on the first day. Once they had decided what they wanted to do, we took a day to prep all the supplies. It requires toilet paper or paper towel tubes, Scotch tape and duct tape, and marbles, and that's it. And then about a day and a half, not whole days, we met in maybe 90-minute increments of assembly, 1.5 or 2 meetings for assembly. And then we did all kinds of, we threw the computer up on the overhead screen, and we made an Excel sheet, and we tracked different sized marbles, and if you gave it a push versus if you just let it go, and tracked all kinds of outcomes. So it was really STEM in every form that you can think of. Sylvia says she's going to do a few STEM programs for summer reading. Fantastic. Let us know in the discussion box what you're thinking about trying. Also under this, we talked about newspaper challenges. I really like those, and I like to do them as a challenge. Have the kids build a bridge and see how many Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels you can put on it. You could do marshmallow launchers. There's a million kind of launchers. I swear you can build them out of almost anything now. And then pool noodle structures. I'm obsessed with pool noodles, but here's why. And you might want to use this to plan ahead for next year. Sometimes they have pool noodles at the dollar store, but sometimes they do not. Near where I live, they have pool noodles all summer long in the grocery store in that big center aisle that has seasonal stuff. And at the end of the year, they went on clearance, but they didn't really move because who wants to store a giant pool noodle all year? And maybe a week after Labor Day, they were still there, and they'd been marked down like 50%, and there were 2 giant cases of them in the center of the aisle. I went up to the manager and I said, if I take all the pool noodles off your hands right now, what will you sell them to me for? And he sold them to me for $0.25 a piece. So we got about 50 pool noodles for 25 cents a piece. Try it. It's fantastic. And it will give you all kinds of things. If you go on Pinterest and search pool noodle structures, you can see all kinds of fun things that we have attempted with ours. You can do little kid stuff. We made some stick ponies out of ours and did some horse-themed programs. You can do big kid building like catapults and launchers. They're great for field day activities. 1,000,001 ideas, and you can pull it off pretty easily. Straw building, I think there's art and science here. They've made straw roller coasters and straw bridges, and you can do those with the challenges. I think straw building is kind of an oldie but a goodie. And of course, edible architecture. We already talked about marshmallows, but you can build with wafer cookies and fruit and gummy fruit slices. And again, edible architecture is a great search term on Pinterest. Let's see what we've got in the comments. Jennifer says, we did this roller coaster STEM project as a station/booth at our last carnival for last year's summer reading, and it was a hit. Oh, fantastic. Melissa says, I am doing a bridge construction program, and we will test them for strength with the number of books it can hold. Oh, so fun. And Gabriel says, we are doing a STEM program in March. The first will be an Angry Birds event where the kids are building with boxes, and another team will launch small projectiles to knock the boxes down. I love that, and we're going to talk about boxes in a few slides. Sylvia says, sugar density with different color water and bubbles. Oh, that's so fun. And here's another Angry Birds event. The kids are decorating the boxes and then we'll make a catapult to use. I have been really surprised at how easy and cost-effective it can be to build a catapult, and I have yet to meet a person who doesn't enjoy catapults. Our next trend is stop motion animation. Ian, can you play that video for us? We can stop it there, Ian, just to get the idea. Perfect. Thank you so much. Has anybody done a stop motion animation workshop at their library? Let me know down in the comments if you have. I stole this idea from the Programming Librarian blog. It is linked on the resource sheet. The entire program cost $4.99 for the app that we had to put on the iPad, and everything else was a leftover craft supply that we had on hand. It's really easy. You use the software to take time-lapse photos, and the software allows you to add sound effects to your movie. I think these are best broken into multi-day workshops, and it can be done at varying levels of difficulty. And you can use things like this one did with the M&Ms. For older kids, they can make their own props or puppets, and it's a lot more involved. But this is one that can be executed fairly easily. Brian has asked me if I know the name of the software. It is on the resource list, and the name is going to come to me or not. It's not going to, but it's on the resource list. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll see if I can grab my iPad while we're talking. Sandy says she did one this month. Did it go well, Sandy? Teresa says their library is doing one this week. Awesome. Karen says they did one last summer and it went well. Let's see, our library is planning to start one. We just got the StickBot. Oh, very cool. Danielle says our kids love it. Oh, good. Fantastic. Oh, and Sandy said they used Legos. Yes. So I became aware of this because once again, they were doing it in my kids' STEM class at school, and they came home raving about it. And when I sent the librarian an email, I was like, how are you pulling this off? She's the one who told me it was $4.99, and she sent me the list, the blog link list from the programming librarian. And we've been doing them at home, and so then, of course, I sent them in, brought it all into the store, and we've been doing it at the store also. We've got like 3 things planned for the summer, which is really fun. And I like this one because it's adaptable up and down. You can do it easy or hard. Heather says if you can't do it multi-day. I think if you had a plan. So we did multi-day because the kids decided what they were doing. I think if you planned that out in advance that you could pull it off. If anybody's done one in one day, let Heather know down in the discussion box. I haven't done it that day. I have not done it that way, so I'm not sure. Lots of ideas. But this one's really good. And I like it because it's low cost. If you've got an iPad already and you're building, the app is $4.99. And it's really intuitive. I knew absolutely nothing about stop motion animation. And we had a short film with my kids rolling down the hill in our front yard made in like 30 minutes. So, you know, it wasn't as fancy as the one we showed here in the description, but it's really nice. We should do a stop motion animation workshop. That should be its own webinar. Putting a pin in that. Another trend I've seen a lot of is bottle cap murals. I think this one also really ties in with the Make a Better World summer reading theme because you can make some public art projects. If you have ever done this, let us know down in the discussion box. I will warn you, we did this last summer and it is a humongous undertaking. This is not something that you're just like going to pull off on a whim. Definitely read the resources, read the blog posts on the resource list, and do a lot of investigation before going down this. But it's pretty fun. You get to incorporate recycling, which is great. We had sorting days because we collected all the bottle caps, and that is the biggest time suck is sorting the bottle caps. So we turned that into an event, and we had a music and pizza party, and we sorted bottle caps. But it's appealing for all ages. Families can do it together. The short version is you paint an outline or background on, we used a piece of medium density fiberboard, MDF board, that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and then used hot glue to attach the bottle caps. This is growing in interest and popularity, so I noticed when I went looking last week that there are lots and lots of ideas and templates available on Pinterest, which is pretty fantastic. But definitely read other people's experiences and plan ahead, because this one was both amazing but is a really large group effort collaborative project. Hope said it would also make a great summer reading program display. I absolutely agree. This would be amazing. Odette says a local school has one and I wanted to try it, but it seems like a massive undertaking. Yes, that's where I saw it. They have one at my children's preschool and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it is amazing. It requires a good planner. What trends are you curious to try? Let me know down in the comments box. We will read them out loud, but I'm going to move on to the next slide because we are incredibly behind on time today. I'm not cheap, I'm frugal. So I promised you some frugal ideas to run through today. And this is just a short list of things that we have pulled off that have been less expensive than other things. Water Sports Day is probably one of my favorite things. There are tons of ideas on Pinterest. Supplies generally include, balloons, buckets, pool noodles. It's great for intergenerational programming or family programming. It's super if you have an outside space. Paper airplane tournaments, also really fun. Summer snowball fight is something I'm really excited about. You can use Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You can use paired up socks or paper balls. You can use old boxes to make forts and have good old-fashioned summer snowball fights. Treasure and scavenger hunts. My workplace does a really cool thing every summer, and it's community-wide called Where's Waldo? And we copy the Waldo image with permission. This is something you can sign up to do with the Where's Waldo people. And they'll send you all the images for free. And we plant Waldo in different small businesses and community spaces throughout the area of town where we are located. And then people come in and get a scavenger hunt list. And again, we encourage people to take pictures and post them to our social media with a hashtag, and we have a giant community-wide Where's Waldo hunt for like all day on a Saturday, and it's really, really fun. Trivia night is everywhere. They're in every, I think, bar and grill and all kinds of things. Trivia nights are also really fun family or intergenerational program. We make teams. And you can combine it with the picnic in a library, which is the next idea down below. And that makes for a nice night. You can set up blankets and everybody brings in their picnic dinner and you do a trivia night. It's a fun, fun day. Library Jenga is what's in the picture there. It's a great use for all those boxes you get your books in. You can repurpose them and you can set it up, and it can be a passive program that stays up all the time. You can do it as a special event. It's really, really fun. And cardboard construction. I have found more uses for boxes than I ever thought was possible. And there is this subgroup of librarians on Pinterest that are always posting really, really great ideas of things they have done with boxes. They're making forts and they're having campouts. One librarian I know made, they had a stuffed animal sleepover where kids dropped off their stuffed animals, and then they spent maybe 2 hours after the library was closed taking pictures of the stuffed animals doing stuff, and then doled them out over the evening on Facebook and Twitter. You could see what your stuffed animal was up to before you picked it up the next day. And they did sleepover forts, and a lot of the ideas from this I'm Not Cheap list, they had the stuffed animals do, which was really, really fun. Let's see what we've got in the discussion box. Sorry, I'm going to page up. You guys are talking so quickly, which is amazing. Anime says, I want to do laser tag at my library. We have the perfect building, but the blasters are really expensive. Has everyone ever done it on the cheap, and how? I have not done that, but that sounds amazing. If anybody's done that, let her know in the discussion box. Dee says, we are trying to do a fairy door program. The kids make little doors and that are hidden throughout town. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that idea too. Gabriel says you could use small Nerf guns instead of laser guns and have the kids wear targets. I really like that. And Dee is mentioning escape programs. Absolutely. And there are kits now that you can buy with the escape room things. Oh gosh, it has left my brain. I'm going to see if I can think of what the name of the company is. They have a kit now that you can buy for like $50, and it has some handheld manipulative old-fashioned type games and clues, and they kind of plan everything out for you, which is really, really nice. Jennifer says we had a cardboard box gingerbread house for the kids to play inside. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that idea. Oh, fantastic. You guys have fantastic ideas. I love it. Be frugal proud. Share your favorite frugal successes down in the discussion box if you haven't already, and we'll run through those. I wanted to run through some community programs. Lots of community agencies will send a person or a program out to your library for free to little costs. So this is really just a non-exhaustive list of places we have found free programs, free or low cost. A couple that I want to bring to your attention that may not be, they were new ideas to me, let's put it that way. Our local recycling center, which is part of our garbage collection company, has a program where they will send someone out and talk about recycling, and it actually includes a craft, which is really nice, and we have had that. Our local energy company, which may also be yours, Duke Energy, also has people that will come out and talk about green energy, and the kids can make either, depending on what they have at the time of year, we've done where you make a wind turbine or a solar panel. And we did solar panel cars that were pretty cool. And those were both really low cost, like maybe $50, and we could have 50 kids there, which is pretty good. Your local Home Depot or Lowe's, they do those Saturday morning classes. They will bring them to you at some locations. I don't want to promise everywhere, but those are great. All you have to do is contact the manager. They will occasionally bring one to your location. Don't forget about local and regional team mascots, including your community agency. In the same way that your library might have a mascot, Our garbage company has a mascot and a recycling mascot. And you can have a really fun mascot day at the library, but make sure you try to include some of those. A lot of the high schools will send a mascot. It's kind of amazing to kind of poke around your community's webpage and see which agencies might have a mascot. The final thing I wanted to mention on this slide, I stole from someone, and I forgot to write their name down. It's so embarrassing. From Storytime Underground on Facebook. If you're not on Storytime Underground, you should be. But they did a big rig show and tell day in the library parking lot. They had a fire truck, an ambulance, SWAT team, the energy company sent a repair truck, the cable company had a truck. They did it, they cast a really wide net and ended up with a really amazing array of large trucks, which was really, really cool. Let's see what we've got in the comments. Let's see. We had a great program with making paper airplanes. The kids kept trying to outdo each other, seeing whose plane would fly the farthest. Oh, that's a great idea. And Melissa says, alien art. The kids create an alien out of empty tissue box and odds and ends from craft supplies. Laura says, don't forget about 4-H. Absolutely. That is a great idea. Melissa says, we do pause to read at 2 of our branches with local therapy dogs. Someone, let's see, Karen, get back with Teresa and tell her what a silly dance party is. And some other people are using therapy dogs. Oh, that's fantastic. There are lots of great ideas. Give a shout out for your community resources in the discussion box. We will run through them so everyone can hear about them. If you have tapped into a lesser known or overlooked community agency, please let us know. Which brings me to my last plea. Parents, staff, and patrons. Everyone loves the library. And so many people would be willing to help if they knew you needed help. Our school has this program called Special Assets Day, which makes me feel sad because the acronym for Special Assets Day is SAD. The first year our kids were at the school, I had no idea what this meant. They just kept coming home with all these things that said, Special Asset Day. What is that? So if you decide to reuse this idea, please rename it and then let me know so I can make sure our school PTA renames it. But basically, you put out an all-call for parents, staff, and community members that have what I call fun skills. Gardening, canasta playing, we had a unicycle rider. That person comes in and is paired up with a small group of kids, 4, 5, 6 kids, and they do a small project or activity that highlights the person's special skill. Our school does it quarterly. My husband went in January, which was really fun. He works in the energy sector, and he built windmills with the kids, and they talked about green energy, which was really cool. But there are amazing people in your community, and I think if you put the way our school handles this is they put it up on Facebook and they say, we are looking for people. Here are things that we have done in the past. We love new ideas. And really open yourself up to the feedback that you receive. It's a little bit of a scheduling conundrum, but it's also really, really fun. We are trying it this summer at my work since it's gone well at school to see how it goes, and I am really, really excited about it. I also really like Mad Scientist Toy Challenge as a way to engage your parents, staff, and patrons. You put out an all-call for old Happy Meal toys or other smalls. And then you let the kids take them apart, grab some screwdrivers and just let them pull those things apart. They're not terribly robust. They're Happy Meal toys. And they can create new toys and inventions from the parts. It speaks to kids in so many ways. They love to take things apart. They love to make new things. It's amazing. It's the best of so many worlds. Building programs can be expensive, but they don't have to be. You can put out an all-call on your social media or signs up in your department for Legos, Connects, Magnetiles, any of the building type toys. If you identify what you need and let people know you're looking for them, it's amazing what you will get in return. People love to help. Give them a chance to do so. Have you leveraged the skills of your patrons or staff? If so, let me know in the discussion box, and let's revisit our comments for the last program. Olivia says Honeymoon Island State Park sends them a program about sea turtles. Oh, that's so amazing. Jessica says, I am having the Recycling Center come on family night for summer reading. The kids are also going to do a craft from recycled materials. Oh, fantastic. Karen says, oh, to revisit the dance party. The dance party is bubbles, scarves, and shakers and more. They play new music as well as classic kids music. That's fantastic. Teresa wants to try the Mad Scientist Toy Challenge. I love it. It recycles. It gets all of those horrible Happy Meal toys out of your house. It's wonderful on so many levels. There we go. Passive programs. Do you do passive programs at your library? And if so, what do they look like? My favorite on this list is Gene Yang. He is the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. Has started the Reading Without Walls Challenge. There are 3 challenges. You read a book about a character who doesn't look like you or live like you. Read a book about a topic you don't know much about. Or read a book in a format that you don't normally read for fun. It might be a chapter book or a graphic novel or a book in verse. And when you finish, you take a photo of you and the book, or just the book if you're shy, and you post it to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook with the hashtag #ReadingWithoutWalls. And they're trying to create a viral movement about reading outside of your traditional choices. I think it's a great way. They tie in nicely with the summer reading theme when you talk about making a better world. Any of the kindness or gratitude programs that we talked about today. This one fits in a lot of places, and you can pull it off with almost no cost to you, and it increases circulation. I mean, it's like a win-win-win. Reading bingo. There are 1,012 cards on Pinterest that you can steal. Blind date with a book. Book bundles. Book bundles are also my secret way to increase circ on books that I don't want to weed. Like, I love them, but maybe it's a hidden gem and people aren't familiar with it. And if you've put it on 1 million displays, you can also stick it in your book bundle. The book bundle also works really nicely with the Reading Without Walls Challenge. You can put in a lot of diverse books. I think book bundles and blind date with a book are a great way to get some of the materials in your library that are hidden gems that people don't yet realize that they love out the door. Scrabble Wall, I'm really excited. We're trying Scrabble Wall this summer. If you've done Scrabble Wall, tell me about it in the discussion box. I'm excited. And a Lego checkout build, which I hear mixed things about. If you have done Lego checkout build, let us know how it went in the discussion box. My impression is that the messaging that you do not get to take the Legos home is the biggest key. Heather, this ends at 3 o'clock, and I'm talking super, super fast. Hiss or miss, tell us about your passive programs, and I'm going to tell you about my last slide, which is summer reading, Build a Better World. We've talked about it almost all hour. Lots of things you can do. Community planning for kids, which I didn't realize was a thing. Google that on Pinterest. There are all kinds of templates. You can have kids come in, and it's a little bit like the Sims community building, but in a non-digital format. Lots of environmentalist programs, kindness we've talked about, makerspace invention clubs we've talked about. Building box cities and communities, another great use for all of those boxes that we talked about. Food, toiletry, and school supply drives are a great tie-in here, as well as community gardens, container gardening, and volunteer fairs. Do you need volunteers for your library program? Great way to get them, along with volunteers for other organizations, is a volunteer fair. Let us also know in the discussion box what you are doing this summer. If you have questions or comments for me, my email is there. I'm going to hang out for a few minutes. I apologize for going over. You guys had so many great ideas today, and I want us to be able to share as many of them as you can. Let's see what we've got here. Olivia says, passive art program at the tables in the department every weekend. That is a great idea. Melissa says, we had a community coloring table. Oh, I like that. And they did an adult reading bingo. Very fun. Pamela says they do a mystery book during summer reading for teens and adults. That's really popular. And Laura says we have a passive science exploration station that we change out every month with different hands-on science. Oh, I love that idea. That is fantastic. I'm going to page up really quickly and make sure I did not miss anyone. Teresa
Jill,
says,
I am exhausted.
I know, right? It's a year's worth of programs.
These people just going away with all this stuff. It's great. And I have to tell everybody, I don't think I said this in the public area yet, but you guys blew out the discussion area. I don't think we've ever had that happen before. I can't get up to the top because it's just so full.
Oh my gosh, Olivia says they open up their Ellison dies every Sunday for arts at the library.
What a great idea.
I love that idea so much. That's amazing.
All right, does anybody want to throw in any last thoughts or comments for Jill or questions?
Oh, thank you, Heather.
That's a full program. I think we could run that again and there'll be more to hear.
I just kept adding to the slides.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming and thank Jill for all those wonderful ideas. You guys were great. We had 75 people here, which is one of our records for at least for 2017 so far. So thank you all. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you again soon.